Hello and welcome to today's video. We are going to look at what we call the header file in C++. Now, what is header file? You realize so far what we've done, we have all the classes clustered up in the int main. Now, when it happens like that, as the code increases, as the lines increases, it makes it very hard to, maintain the project. It makes it very difficult to actually, navigate around the lines. So when you get an error, fixing it becomes an issue. Now the concept of header files comes in to actually help us minimize this kind of distractions. So what is header file? It's just another piece of file that contains C++ code, and that code can be used throughout our program. Okay, so first of all, I want you to follow me. I want you to do this along with me. So let me actually zoom it in a bit. Okay, you go to file, new, and then you select file. Now when you select file, you're going to get this kind of template. Okay, choose the C or C++ header. You double click on it and then you give your header a name. So let me call this one utils. And then when I finish, these ones, they are not compulsory. You can decide to check, but let me just use all. Okay, let me just use all. When you finish like this, you don't press finish. If you press the finish, it's only going to give you an error. Okay, after you are done with the name, what you need to do is you use the three dots and then you go to save. Forget about the name, forget about these ones, just focus on the button save. Click on it and then go to finish. So with this, it means now your project is set up, your header file is created. So this header file, you can see if you check up here, the name ends with what? utils.h. That is a header file. If it's the main C++, engine or entry point where the application is executed from, it has the extension .cpp. That is the word C++. Okay, so that is it. Now, okay, let me go to the header file and then let me show you something. So always don't bother yourself, don't delete what you see here. These ones, it's needed for the program to be able to work, to recognize this as a header file. So whenever you see any kind of this, leave it like that. Okay, all your code will have to be in between the comments up here and then a comment down here. It's not actually comment though, but it's something that C++ engine uses to recognize this as an actual header file. Okay, all right. So over here, it's very possible for me to create a variable like int age equals 5, and then let me say void string name equals John Smith, and then actually I think we have to also add the salary. So the salary, we use double salary is equal to 250, and then just 9 like this. So we have some set of variables. These variables that we have, we can access it in the int main for it to work, and it's very possible. Okay, it's very possible. Let's add our username space std. It's also important to have it there, using namespace std. The same way it's important for the username space std to come here, that's the same way it's important. So always in your header file, you try and then you add. I will show you how you need to add the username space std there too as well. Okay, now we have some variables. Okay, it can be your header file can contain a class, it can contain function and also normal variables, but we are looking at normal variables. Okay, so let me try and then see out the age. So see out age. Now age is not created anywhere, but we are trying to display the value of age from the header file. Now if we run the program, you see we have an error. Now the main reason why we have this error is very simple. You can check the lock screen though, but this is it. We are trying to access the age variable, even though age exists in the header file, but we've not established any kind of connection from the main entry point, that is this file, to the header file. So before that can be done, we have to actually include, okay, actually allow this current file to be aware that there is another one called headers utils.h, and that one contains, this one. So pick it from there. Okay, so let's establish the connection. Right above the first one, you do hash include, and then this time around you don't use angle bracket. We have two types of header files: the built-in header file and then a custom header file. Built-in header files, example is the IOStream. They mostly come with this approach. They start with angle bracket, and then the name comes, and then they close with angle bracket. Okay, but then with the custom header file, that's the one you, the programmer, have created, it doesn't work that way. You have to actually put it in a double quote like this, and then the name of the header file should come. So mine is utils. You can see already I have it here, so let me just press enter to have it. Now utils.h is ready. Now this is utilities. So now connection is established. Bluetooth device is connected now. So it actually will be able to pick the age that is defined in the utils here. So let's run the program now and check what will happen. So you can see it's possible now. We are getting what? 5. That's the value of age here. What if we change it to 75? We come back here and then we run it. You can see that it's possible. It's now 75. Okay, so let me just add some kind of display structures. So this structure you see from up here, it's actually doing displaying, right? So the structure you see highlighted is doing the displaying. Now the name, the age, salary, they are all coming from the header file, right? So if I execute the program, you can see that now we have the John Smith, the salary, the age, all of them are now available. So if you have a lot of lines of code, you can just take some of the code, put it in a header file, and then what? Don't forget about the hash include. It's actually the hash include that will tell the compiler that, okay, before executing the program, it should go and then first scan or check this file for whatever that is in there to add it to this one. Okay, so it's important. You realize the moment I take it off, if I run the program, it's not going to work. If we bring it back and then we run the program, it's working. So this is about header file. Now one thing I want to also talk about is you can have errors in your header files. Okay, this one is not accepted, right? You have any statement when you are ending and you don't add full stop, that's an error. So inside the header file, I will simply execute the program. Age is here, right? When I execute the program, you can see the program will now send me to this side. Okay, it's trying to tell me that there's error here, and that's because we don't have the semicolon. Now this is only possible because of the hash include. So let me take off the hash include from there. If I take the hash include from there, you realize the error will not happen that side, so it will just happen here. Okay, so what are we trying to establish? I'm trying to tell you that the compiler will be able to notice some errors, okay, as far as it is linked. So take everything away, clear this one too from, okay, clear this from there. There's an error here. If I build and run the program again, you see the program is running, the error here is not triggered. That's because whenever you run your program, the compiler runs it from the int main. So as far as the hash include is not added, as far as the utils file is not added to the main.cpp, the compiler will not even read the content of it. So it will not even detect whether there's an error or not. You can even add a space here, do something like this. It's totally wrong. But if you run the program, the compiler is not aware. Are you with me? So the compiler will only be aware after you have added the hash include. This time around, executing from line by line, when it gets here, it will go inside to check and read. So at the time of reading, that's where it's going to discover that there are some kind of errors there. Okay, so that is one thing I want to establish here for you to understand. Again, it's important always for you to add your using namespace std if you are going to deal with string or input, c in and then C out. So it's very, very important. Okay, it's very important. All right, now we just, we are doing still on OOP, object oriented programming. Let me just show you this one. Let me add this to it. So it's possible for us to actually have our class. Okay, have our class, and then in the class we just put the class in header files. It's actually possible. Okay, it's actually possible, but I don't intend for this video to be too long, so let me just end here. In the next lecture we'll look at how we can create classes. Okay, we create classes, and then in the classes we'll have them in header files. Okay, thank you so much, and then I wish to see you in my next lecture. Bye.